Hello and thank you for joining me. This is Corey from the Bach Scholar YouTube channel. Yesterday I made a video on polyrhythm trills in Mozart and Clementi, and the video was very popular. I got some nice comments on my video, and I wanted to address one of those comments because this subject matter is really near and dear to my heart. I don't always, in fact, this is probably the first time I've ever taken a comment on one of my videos and actually expounded upon it and answered the person's question. So this is a question from Will. Will is a self-taught pianist who is currently, I guess he's working on the English Suite number 4 by Bach. The Allemande. I don't know if he's working on the whole suite, but he specifically mentions in the comment about, and I answered his question in the comment, so I hope it makes sense to you, Will, that what I said in the comment, but I'm going to expound upon this in this video on how to practice that trill. Okay, so first of all, let me play this first page of the Allemande from English Suite number 4. It's in F major. So let me try this here. There we go. I just practiced this a little bit this morning so I could get through that. So that is a taste of how this Allemande sounds. So you hear that there are these prevailing 16th note triplets. So we have, let me find my online metronome here. And I'm going to put it on, let's put it on a nice sort of slow speed of say 72 beats per minute per 8th note, okay? So this is, let's practice a little bit at the slow speed. This is the 8th note speed, okay? And take it from the beginning. The first phrase there. In fact, that's, I wanted to do it a little slower than that, but I will in a minute. Okay, so we have da 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 da. We have a lot of these rolling triplets. By the way, Allemandes tend to be a little slower, so I would say not too fast on this Allemande. I think a good speed for it is about 48 beats per quarter note. That would be 96 per 8th note. So my suggested speed for this, and the reason I'm mentioning speed before I talk about the trill is because the speed is really very relevant to the trill. The speed at which you play anything is always the determining factor on how you will play the trill. So first of all, you need to determine what your goal speed is. Write it down, figure it out on a metronome exactly what your goal speed is. And then that will give you some clues as to how to play the trill, whether or not you need to do one of these polyrhythm trills or not. Okay, so I'm going to put it on 48, and I'm going to play the first 2 measures again, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... so I have the first two measures like that. I think that's a really nice speed for this Allemande, 48 per quarter note. Okay, now let's talk about the trill. So if you remember my video on Clementi and Bach on the polyrhythm trills, you only want to do a polyrhythm trill when the speed of the trill would exceed your ability to play that trill, if done with two trill notes for every one left-hand note. So like I demonstrated in the Clementi, in fact, this is exactly like the Clementi Sonatina, Opus 36, number 4. So if you look at that, the way that I talked about that and referred to that in my last video, please refer to the Clementi. This is exactly the same type of trill as the Clementi, because you have triplets, 16th note triplets in the left hand, and you have a trill in the right hand. So what you don't want to do is this. I'm going to play really slowly from measure 2. So you don't want to do this. That's 2 trill notes for every one left-hand note. Let me do that again. So in other words, for every 3 notes, you're going to have, if you do it that way, you're going to have 6 trill notes. So if you take the whole quarter note beat, you'll have a total of 12 trill notes. 12 trill notes. Now, nowhere does Bach ever specify, like in his table of ornaments, that you should have 12. He always says 8. So this is an example where you literally, if you just follow Bach's directions from the table of ornaments, let's disregard the left hand for now and just look at the right hand and pretend like the right hand, there was no left hand. How would we do the trill if there weren't any left hand notes? We would do it like this. It would be like that. And if you want to go faster, you simply speed up the tempo a little bit. And then you get a nice moderate speed trill. So, but doing it the 12 notes way, it would be more something like that, which I think sounds much too fast for the trill for the speed of the music. So this is a perfect example where you want to do a polyrhythm trill, and we're not breaking rules to do this either. We're not contradicting what Bach says in his table of ornaments. We're simply playing the trill like that, and we're just retaining the left hand like this. So in other words, each hand has its own brain. Each hand marches to its own sort of drummer. Now here's the way, okay, ultimately, I hate to bring the bad news. Okay, this is the bad news about these kinds of trills. There's good news and bad news. The bad news is you're just gonna have to suck it up and learn polyrhythms. Okay, you're gonna have to learn, in this case, a 4/3 polyrhythm. I would suggest spending at least a couple months, 3-4 months, as long as it will take you to learn a perfect 4/3 polyrhythm. And there's various ways to do that. Please watch my video on 4/3 polyrhythms on YouTube. It's a popular video. It's helped out a lot of people, but there are tons of things you can do. You can, to practice that, and in addition to watching my video, you can just take 3, let's just take 3 random notes in the left hand. I'm going to take C, D, and E and play them with 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just practice playing triplets, slow triplets. And now in the right hand, we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. We're not going to play the 5th finger. So now we're going to do quadruplets, not triplets, but just with the right hand. So we're going to go. Feel that beat. Take that same beat, da 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 da. But now we're going to do it with the left hand. Remember, there's one less note, so you have to go just a tiny bit slower. Each one of those notes is a tiny bit slower than the fours. Okay, so. Keep the speed the same, and now do the fours. Now I'm going to do the threes. Keep it tapping. Now I'm going to do the fours. So that, in a nutshell, is a polyrhythm played hands separately. Now all you have to do is put them together. It's not an easy thing. I say all you have to do. That's actually a joke. All you have to do is put them together. It's not that easy. I guarantee 95% of pianists who can't play this, the 4/3 polyrhythm yet, and does this, will not, absolutely not be able to put hands together very well. It seems easy, but it's not so easy. So the first thing I would do, first and foremost, in the long-term plan, your long-term goal in the next year is to master 4/3 polyrhythms in both hands. So be able to do 4 in the right, 3 in the left, and then 4 in the left, 3 in the right. Also, while we're at that, you may as well learn 2/3 also, because there's 2/3 all over this Allemande. We have like, for example, you have 2 in the right, 3 in the left. So I'm assuming, Will, I'm assuming you can already play 2/3s well. If not, you also need to learn 2/3s. But really try hard for the next year on really mastering 4/3 polyrhythms. Do anything you can to master that. Once you have 4/3 polyrhythms down at a slow speed, and then you start gradually speeding it up, it will become much easier. You'll be able to sort of split your brain into two. One hand will do one thing, the other hand will do the other thing, and it will come naturally. But to make it natural, first you have to go through the work. So it's not going to become natural in the beginning, it will become natural in the end. So now, let's take these notes, and I'm going to put the metronome on here. Okay, this is 48 on the metronome. So I'm just going to play, I know we'll get to the trill in a minute, but I want to do the left hand first. So put the metronome on 48 and do this. And keep it, and then do the right hand. Just do a few of them, like maybe 3 or 4 or so. Let's go back. Now just do 2 of them. So go 2, right after 2 of them, then right after that, without pausing, you're going to go to the right hand and do 2 of those. We're going to go back and forth doing 2 of each. So. You want to do that until you can really just do it perfect every time. When you're first learning it, you'll find you'll have to do a little adjustments on the first couple notes. Usually you'll try to go too fast on the 4s and like too slow on the 3s. So you just have to do a little adjusting. You'll get used to the adjusting, but be able to go back and forth. Okay, now let's do it again and do one time on each side. Same speed. Okay, now I'm just going to do this to impress you, but I don't expect you probably won't be able to do this. But I'm going to show you how it sounds if you put hands together. It's going to sound like that. It doesn't sound great because the notes kind of clash. But that's a good exercise. Okay, now let's apply that to this trill. So we have the trill, the second beat of the second measure. We have, I'm going to just practice a few times going D, E, F, D, E, F, B flat. And remember, go to the B flat. Don't end there. So whenever you're practicing a certain set of notes, always go to the downbeat of the next beat. Don't just stop in the air. Don't stop on before you get to the next beat. Okay, that's just a tip of mine here. So let's try that again. Let's do it with the metronome now. Let's see. I'm going to put it a little faster. I'm going to put it on 72. Okay, now I'm going to do just the right hand trill. Remember, 8 notes per trill. Or sorry. Hands on the G. You see what I'm doing? You're programming yourself to hear the beat. You're programming yourself to hear the beat and to play 4 and 3. That's the first step. Actually, most pianists don't even do that. So you must do that. And do that at faster speeds. Let's speed it up to 96. 96 is actually the speed I would suggest that is up to speed. So you don't really need to do it any faster than 96. Okay? So let's try this. That's what it's going to sound like if you do them both together. Here's slower. Sorry. Once you learn the correct way to do 4 against 3, if you can really, truly do 4 against 3 and you master it, you'll be able to do trills like this as a piece of cake. This will be really easy for you. So doing polyrhythms on trills is not I'm not trying to make it harder. This actually makes it easier, and it makes it much more enjoyable to listen to and enjoyable to play. So I hope that this helps you out, Will, and others that have the similar trill problem here. I'm surprised that no piano teachers ever talk about this. No, I don't know any piano teachers that talk about polyrhythm trills. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there are, but I'm not aware of any that have talked about this. This has been my own sort of secret over these years. I haven't really talked about it much, but I've known about it for a very long time, that sometimes it is necessary to do trills, not traditional two against one trills, but polyrhythm trills, either 2 against 3 or 3 against 4. So I hope this helps you out once again, and thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos like this.